Hi, I'm Jang from the Transportation Bureau. 5 months ago, I was suffering from spinal stenosis. If I was on my feet for more than 5 or 10 minutes, I had pins and needles in my legs. As I stood longer, the pain got so severe that I had to sit somewhere. My house is about a 5-minute walk from the church. On my way to church and back home, I would have to rest on a bench. I saw a doctor and took an X-ray, which indicated that discs number 1 and 5 were compressed. Initially, I tried to follow the exercise method by watching YouTube or other internet sites. I intended to relieve the pain anyhow, but I wasn't successful. I figured that it was a spiritual problem, not a physical one. Reflecting on myself, I found that I was into sports too much. I loved playing badminton. I always looked forward to the weekend when I could play it. I should have looked forward to the services, listening to sermons and praying. But I had my heart taken away by badminton. Even during worship services, I would imagine myself playing badminton. I repented of this at the Daniel prayer meeting. I thought I had a chance to be healed through a senior pastor's prayer at the Lunar New Year meeting. As a church volunteer, I was assigned to take care of leftover food. At first, I was worried. How could I do it? Because I can stand no longer than 5 minutes, but I decided to do it, believing that God would help me. On day 1, while I shook hands with the senior pastor, I said to him, "I'm suffering from stenosis, but I want to be healed by faith." The next day as well, I volunteered to work at senior pastor's residence. Even while working over an hour, I had no symptoms at all. I said to senior pastor, "Thank you for your prayer. I was healed." He then gazed at me with a smile. The whole time I was at the senior pastor's residence, I experienced no symptoms of the disease. But when I returned home, the symptoms slightly occurred again. It was the same on day 2 and day 3. Around that time, senior pastor prayed on our handkerchiefs. I believed if I repeatedly prayed with this handkerchief, the remaining symptoms would disappear completely. So I started to pray with it. Eventually, I'm completely healed with no symptoms at all. Then, one day, my wife woke me up in the middle of dawn, saying, "It sounds like someone's around." At first, I didn't pay attention, but later, I woke up to some crackling and popping sounds. As I opened the curtains, I found the house on fire. The fire produced toxic gases that spread around the living room. We rushed out, holding our breaths. Later, I took a deep breath and walked back into my house to clean up. I didn't know the toxic gases were that strong. After I breathed them in just a little, I got dizzy and almost fainted. I quickly walked out to breathe. The surprising thing was that while the living room was filled with toxic gases, they didn't leak into our bedroom at all. If we hadn't been awoken by those crackling sounds, we would have been found dead in the morning. But because of the noise, we woke up. In retrospect, an angel supposedly made the sounds. Father God has always kept my family safe. When my son was born, he had a hole in his heart that caused a ventricular septal defect. After senior pastor prayed for my son 3 times, he was perfectly healed.
바로 가서 이제 검사를 했는데 그 조직이 형성되고 있다고 하더라고요. 막힌다고.
With a hole in his heart, there was strange sound whenever he breathed. Senior pastor prayed for him, and his parents took him to a doctor and found that the hole was being filled. Hallelujah!
He is fit and healthy and can blow the clarinet. My family is completely protected by God. I used to quarrel with my wife a lot, but nowadays we do much less than before. I got convinced that we can all enter New Jerusalem. All this has been possible by the shepherd's favor, love, and his tears.
We are happy. Thank you. Love you.